Drawing this jellyfish in Procreate is easier than you think, and in this tutorial I will show you all the steps so you can draw it too, even if you're a beginner in digital art. Before you start, make sure to download the color palette and all my free brushes. Everything is linked in the description of this video. If you enjoyed this video and would like to draw more of me, make sure to check out my Patreon. I add their new tutorial every week, and there are also other benefits. Link is in the description. So with all that being said, grab your drawing tools, relax, and let's start. Let's make a new canvas, A4 canvas from Procreate. And we're going to start with drawing the head of the jellyfish. Let's take first color for this, color number 1. And let's pick a brush to draw the shape. So let's go over here. Let's go to calligraphy and take monoline brush. Let's use here brush size 20. And we can draw a shape like this, kind of like a semicircle. And if you find the lines shaky, we can change here one setting. Let's go to the Actions menu, Preferences, Pressure and Smoothing, and let's make the stabilization a higher number. I'm going to make it about 45%. So now let's draw the shape. Something like this. Let's make it rounded on top and more flat at the bottom. Let's color this inside. So drag and drop the color inside here. And you can hold your pencil on the screen and swipe it to the left or right to adjust the color drop threshold. Right away I'm going to move it up on the canvas. So let's take the arrow tool for this. At the bottom, pick uniform option. And you can also turn on snapping. So this way you can have it right in the middle of the canvas. Okay, so like this. Let's tap here to finish this. And now we can add here some color variation inside of this. So if we want to draw only inside of this shape, we have to set this layer to alpha lock. So let's open the layers, tap on this layer and pick here alpha lock. Let's take another color. Take color number 2. And let's change the brush. Over here, I'm going to use a brush from my siakulaart special brushes. And let's take this one, watery. Let's make the brush size here 46. Now we can just add this here very lightly in few places over here. Maybe more like at the bottom. Like this will be enough. And now let's take next color, color number 3, and add it also in few places. So this jellyfish will have more colors than just one blue color. Okay, and now we can make it look softer. Let's take the smudge tool, so this one, let's tap on it again, and we can set it to the same brush. So let's go to siakulaart special brushes and take watery with the brush size 21. We can now smudge this a little bit, make this blend better over here. Okay, so something like this would be good. Now we can make it look even better by adding here some kind of sparkly texture. So for this we can make a new layer on top of this one. And we can set this layer's clipping mask. So let's tap here and pick clipping mask. So this way whatever we're going to draw here will be visible only on the layer that is underneath. We can change blending mode of this layer. Let's tap here and let's set it to overlay. We can use this color. And now let's change the brush. Let's go to all patrons brushes. These are also free. You can download them when you sign up as a free member on my Patreon. And let's take here this one, fluffy texture. Let's make the brush size here maybe around 39 and just add it over here like that. Okay, now we can do the same with a different color. Let's take color number 1 and just add it over here. And now we can change the opacity of this layer. Maybe this is too strong. So let's go over here and turn down the opacity. I will make it 79%. Right away, let's draw here eyes and mouth. Let's make a new layer for this. We can also set it as clipping mask. And let's pick the color. Take color number 5. And change the brush. Let's go back here to calligraphy and monoline brush. Maybe we can make the brush size now smaller, 11. And let's draw eyes. I'm going to draw them in an oval shape, like this. Hold your pencil on the screen to make this an oval shape. Okay. And now you can tap here and edit the shape if you want to. I will make them a little bit bigger, like this. Maybe I like this shape. Okay. When you finish, tap with your finger on the screen. And let's color this inside. I want the second eye to be exactly the same. So to do that, we can just duplicate this layer. Let's swipe on this layer to the left and pick duplicate. And now we can take the arrow tool and move it to the other side, over here. Okay. Tap here to finish this, and right away we can merge those layers together. So let's just pinch them together like this. So this is just one layer. Let's add here mouth. So for the mouth, I will just draw an arc shape like this. I'm holding my pencil on the screen to make this a nice arc. And now I can tap here and still edit it. Okay. And then tap with your finger on the screen to finish this. Let's add some depth to the eyes. We can do it by setting this layer as alpha lock. And now let's change the color. Let's take color number 6 and change the brush. Over here we can go to my siakulaart special brushes. And let's take medium noise. Let's make the brush size maybe like 5%, brush opacity 100%, and just draw over here a little bit at the bottom part, like that, on both eyes. Now let's take next color, take color number 7, and make it a little bit brighter. Okay. And now next color, let's take color number 2 now. And with a smaller brush size, maybe 2%, we can just add here one more line, maybe on this side like that. Okay. And now another color. Let's take color number 1 and draw here still maybe a dot over here, like that. Now let's make a new layer to draw the blush. Let's also set this layer as clipping mask. And let's change the color. Take color number 4. And let's change the brush. Maybe for this we can just use the airbrushing brush. So go to airbrushing and take soft brush. Let's make the brush size 3%. And draw the blush somewhere over here, like that. Okay, and that's enough. So now we can draw the tentacles. For this, we are going to make a new layer, and we can put it under the head shape. Over here. Let's change the color. Take color number 1. And change the brush. Let's go back here to calligraphy and monoline brush. We can keep using here this small brush size 11. And let's draw here long swirly lines going to the bottom. So maybe one like this, and then take it around and up like that. Now maybe one going this way. Another one maybe somewhere over here, going this way. Now one again maybe shorter, going somewhere over here. And then one more longer. Let's make it go this way. So like this. Now I'm going to adjust it. I will take the arrow tool and move it a little bit to the left. So it's more like in the middle of the head. Like that. Okay. Let's tap here to finish this. And now we want to color this inside. But when I was drawing, I wasn't closing those shapes. So to do it now easily, we can just turn off the head. Let's just tap here. And now we can see where those lines are, and you can just close them like that. To have here a closed shape, so we can color this inside in a moment. Okay, let's color this inside. And we can bring back the head. We can do now the same what we did to the head. So first we can set this as alpha log and add here some more colors. So let's tap here and pick alpha log. Let's change the color, take color number 2 and go back to the same brush that we used for the head. So go to Siakulaart Special and take watery. And let's add some of this color in few places like that. Just to make it more interesting. Okay. And now another color, color number 3. Let's add it. And now we can take the smudge tool and just make it blend nicer. Okay, and now let's make a new layer on top of this one. Set it as clipping mask and change it to overlay so we can add here those sparkly elements. Let's keep the color we have now. Let's change the brush. Let's go to all patrons and take fluffy texture. Maybe for this we can make the size a little bit smaller, maybe 30%, and just add it here in few places like that. And now let's take a small break, and I would like to ask you to write a comment, I can draw this. It would mean a lot to me. I would know that you enjoyed this video and I could see who is watching me. So thank you for doing that. And now let's go back to drawing. And now another color, color number 1. And let's add it. Okay, and turn down the opacity of this. Over here I will pick 65%. Okay, we can still draw here smaller, thinner tentacles. Let's make a new layer for this. For this we can change the color. Let's make them pink. Let's take color number 3. And here we can change the brush. Let's go to inking and take Studio Pen. With the brush size 45, we can now draw here some swirly lines like that. So let's add a few of them going in different ways. Okay, if you have to, you can use the arrow tool and move it and adjust it, but I'm happy with what I drew here. So I'm not going to do that. We can add here now some colors. Let's set this layer as alpha lock. And now we can take color number 2. Let's change the brush. Let's go back to my Siakulaart Special and watery. And we can just add this in few places. Like that. Okay, and now let's take color number 1 and add it also. Okay, and this is enough. We are ready now to add here some shadow and light. We can start here with this layer that we have now over here. The smaller tentacles. Let's make a new layer on top of this and set it as clipping mask. Today, for the shadows, we are going to set this layer to color burn. Let's pick the color, take color number 8, and let's change the brush. Let's take here small noise. With the brush size 13, we can add this right under the head, like that. Okay, and now let's make the brush size smaller, about 4%, and we can add the shadow on the right and the bottom side of those tentacles. So like this. Okay, and let's turn down the opacity of this. I will make it 80%. And now maybe I will still make this darker right here at the top. Make sure this is really dark over here. Like this. Now we can make a new layer here to draw the light. So let's make a new layer. We can also set it as clipping mask. And for the lights, we can change it to add. Let's pick the color. Take color number 9. And for the lights today, we can use here the All Patrons brush, the fluffy texture. Let's make it small, make it 4% maybe, and just add it now over here on the left side, like that. Okay, this will be enough for me, and we can turn down the opacity of this. I'll do it just a little bit. Maybe I will set it here to 87%. Okay, we can do the same now to the bigger tentacles. So let's go to the layer with the sparkles on it and make a new layer on top. Let's set this clipping mask and change it to color burn. First we can do the shadows. So let's change the color to color number 8. Change the brush back to siakulaart special. And for this, because this is bigger element, we can use medium noise brush. Let's make the brush size now 8%. And again, we can add the shadow right under the head, like this, and on the right and the bottom side of them. So like that. Let's make it really dark right under his head. And now we can turn down the opacity of this. I'm going to make it 90%. And again, I'll just make sure this top part is really dark over here. Okay, so now let's make a new layer to add the lights. Let's set it as clipping mask and change it to add. Let's change the color, take color number 9 and change the brush. Let's go to all patrons and take fluffy texture. Here we can make the brush size slightly bigger, maybe 6%, and add it to the top and left. So like this. And now let's turn down the opacity of this. I will make it 82%. Okay, let's move on to the head and add shadow on it. So let's go all the way to the top over here. Above the blush, we can make a new layer. Let's set it as clipping mask. Change it to color burn. And change the color to color number 8. Let's change the brush. Let's go to Siakulaart Special and medium noise. And over here we can make the brush size bigger, 19%, and add the shadow to the bottom right side, like this. Okay, let's make the brush size smaller now, 3%, and we can add the shadow on the left side of the eyes, like this, around it, on the left side. Okay, and a little bit here on the left side of the mouth, and this. So just like that. Now let's bring back here a little bit of the light, so we can have better contrast between the head and the tentacles. We can do it by erasing this. So let's take the eraser, let's tap on it again, and set it to the same brush, so medium noise from Siakulaart Special brushes. Let's make the brush size maybe 5%, and we can just erase this here like that. Okay. And now let's turn down the opacity of this. I'm going to make this here 70%. Now we can make a new layer to draw the light. Let's set it as clipping mask and change it to add. Let's change the color, take color number 9. And first we can add here light around the eyes. So now on the right side, we can just draw it here like this. And a little bit over here around the mouth. Okay. Now we can change the brush. Let's take the fluffy texture. Let's make the brush size about 11. And we can add it over here to the top and left part of him, like that. Maybe just a little bit over here also. Okay, I think like this is enough. We can turn down the opacity of this just a little bit. I will make it here 91%. Okay, we are almost finished. Now we can add here the little dome, the see-through dome around his head. Let's make a new layer for this. Let's change the color, Take color number 1 and change the brush. Let's go back here to calligraphy and monoline brush. And with a brush size, maybe let's make it even smaller for this. Let's make it 5%. We can draw the shape going around his head, and at the bottom we can add here a wavy line. So let's draw something like this. Okay. If you want to adjust your shape, you can do it easily by going to the adjustments and taking Liquify tool. Over here at the bottom, let's pick push option. We can change the momentum to 0, distortion 0, pressure maybe let's make it 40%, and size let's try maybe 31. And now you can just gently push it and adjust the shape that you have. Of course, if you have to, you can change the size over there, just to make sure that it will match what you need. I'll make it bigger now. 47. And just make this a little bit wider over here. Okay, like this. I'm happy with this shape, so I can tap here to finish this. We are going to duplicate this because we want to keep this original shape too. So let's duplicate it. Swipe it to the left and pick duplicate. And now let's go to the bottom layer and we can color this inside. So just drag and drop the color in here. Now we are going to erase most of this, but to make it easier to see what we are doing, let's add here a background color first. So let's open the layers. We can make a new layer for this and move this all the way to the bottom over here. Let's pick the color. Take color number 10 and drag and drop it in here. So now let's go back to our layer with that dome over here, layer number 14. And let's take the eraser. Let's tap on it. We can take here medium noise. Let's make the brush size 27. And let's erase the middle part of this. We want to erase most of this here in the middle. And we are going to fade it away on the edges. So like that. Let's make the opacity now of the brush smaller. Let's make it maybe 77 and make the brush size smaller, 11. And just go around and erase this here like that. Okay, so you should have something like this. Now we can change blending mode of this. Let's tap here and set it to screen. We can turn down the opacity of this just a little bit. I will make it here 89. And you can see now better if you have to still erase somewhere. But I think it's kind of nice if we have here some missed spots. I think it looks better this way. And now we can also add again some of the texture of the frills over here. So let's take the brush. Let's set it to the medium noise. So siakulaart special and medium noise. With the brush size about 5%. Let's draw here some lines like this. So kind of on the top of those waves. And now again, let's take the eraser and just make it look better and more defined. Okay, now again, let's take the brush and we can add here a small light on top. So like that, and we'll still add more in a moment. Maybe let's add it also on this side, just one line like this. Okay, I think this is enough. So now we can take care of this outline line. We're going to make it glow. So let's go to this layer over here and set it as add. Now to add here a real glow, we can go to the adjustments and take your bloom. Swipe your pencil on the screen to add the bloom size. And then at the bottom you can adjust the other settings. Okay, I like it like this. So my settings are bloom 37, transition 89, size 22, and burn 48. Let's tap here to finish this. And let's add here another light on top of this to make it really nice and shiny and glowy. So let's make a new layer for this. We can set it as add. Let's go back here to the all patrons and fluffy texture. And with the brush size 8%, we can add here again some extra light over here on top. Like that. So there's some more light going on in here. A little bit here in between the frills, just to make it look better. Okay, and I like it like that. I'm not going to turn down the opacity of this. Now, I think it would be nice if we make the back tentacles glow too. So to do it, let's find the layer with them, the shape, this one, over here at the bottom, and let's duplicate it. Swipe on it to the left and pick duplicate. Now let's take the layer underneath. We have to take off the alpha lock from this. So let's tap here and turn off alpha lock. And we want this to be all in one color. Let's tap here and pick select. Make sure the color fill is on. And now we can pick the color. For this, maybe let's take color number 4. Okay. Now when you open the layers, you can see this is in pink color. We're going to change blending mode of this to add. And we can also give the glow here the same way like we did for the dome. So let's go to the adjustments and take bloom. Swipe your pencil on the screen to the bloom size, and then let's change the bottom settings. I think I like it this way. So my bloom size is 34, transition max, size 26, and burn 26 too. Let's tap here to finish this. And now we can add here some more variation to the background. So let's make a new layer above the background layer over here. We can change the blending mode of this to linear burn. And let's pick the color. Take color number 11. And change the brush. Let's use here the soft brush from airbrushing. Let's make the brush size about 15. And we can draw around him like this. We are going to add here darker colors around him. Okay, I think this is nice. Now let's take another color. Take color number 12. Let's draw even further away. And now last color, color number 13. We can color on the edges over here. And let's make it blend nicer by adding here Gaussian blur. So let's go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. Swipe your pencil on the screen, and we can make this here maybe about 40%. Okay, tap here to finish this. So if you like it like that, it can be finished, but I thought it would be nice to add here some bubbles and maybe some stars around him. For this, let's make a new layer on top of everything. We can set it as add, and let's change the color. Let's take color number 1. And let's go here to calligraphy and take monoline brush. We can make the brush size maybe 11 and just draw some circles. So draw it like this, hold your pencil on the screen, and now you can put your finger here to make this a perfect circle. So let's draw a few of them. You can also draw them on the jellyfish. Okay, and if you want, you can add here also like a line and a little dot. So like this. And if you have my stamp brush set, you can use the brushes from there too. I'm going to add a few of them. So I have here a brush stamp bubble. I will use it. I'll make the brush size maybe like 11. And just add a few of them too. Somewhere like this. Now a different size. And now maybe one bigger, 14. Okay, so like that. Now you can draw some stars. I will use here also my brush stamp. I'm going to take this pointed star. If you don't have this brush set, you can just hand draw this shape, or you can skip it. You don't have to add the stars. Maybe that's too much for you. I like it this way. And now I would like to also use here this one, cross field. So I'll just add a few of them all around here. Okay. And then still I will use dot field and just add a few dots all over the place. So with brush size 1, I'm just going to stamp here some dots everywhere. Don't be shy, you can also add some elements on the jellyfish. Okay, I think this is enough for me. So now we can also make this glow a little bit. Let's go to the adjustments and take bloom. Okay, I think I like it like this. So my bloom size is 42, transition 64, size 24, and burn 39. Let's tap here to finish this. And now maybe we can turn down the opacity of this just a little bit. I will make it here 73%. Now in the end, I thought maybe it would be nice to add some glow behind his head. So let's go to the layer with it, this one. Let's duplicate it. Take the layer underneath. We have to turn off alpha lock over here. So let's tap here and turn off alpha lock. And let's color this in pink color. So let's tap here and pick select. Make sure the color fill is on. And let's take color number 4. We have to change the blending mode of this layer to add. And now let's add here bloom. So let's go to the adjustments, take bloom. And let's add this a little bit. Okay, I think this is enough for me. So my bloom size is 29, transition max, size 27, and burn 42. Let's tap here to finish this. And now this illustration is finished. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope you can share your drawing with me on Instagram. I would love to see it. And if you'd like to get more tutorials like this, make sure to check out my Patreon. Link is in the description. Thank you so much for watching and see you in my next video. Bye!